Hey gang, welcome to the forum for the week. I will apologize in advance for my voice being a little bit echoey today. I didn't just turn on the reverb for effect. The sanctuary is empty of chairs right now. We've been working on cleaning some carpet, and so that's why the room is a little more live than normal, so I apologize for that in advance. Um, 522 Disciples, what are we trying to do with our small groups? It's to create 522 disciples. And of course, we realize we don't create them, but that we get to be a part of that process, helping people as they're coming to Christ, then to grow in their faith, to grow deeper in it. And we take that from Galatians 5:22 and following, where it says that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. 9 characteristics. And I think we all agree that all of those help describe the character of Christ. So we want to become more like Jesus. We do that in the context of a community most effectively. And so we're trying to uh, create thought-provoking Bible study discussions. We are trying to build deeper community through fellowships, through ministry projects. We're trying to become an outreach arm of the church with our ministry care lists. We are trying to be pastors to our groups and bless them and help them to build an identity where they see themselves as part of the whole and as contributors to the whole group. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help see people become more like Christ. That's what ultimately the groups are about. Everything we're doing is trying to aim at that. Um, just want to mention to you the past 2 weeks, group attendance has been way down. Now, that's not unusual for this time of the year as folks are going out on vacations and weekend getaways surrounding spring break and that sort of thing. And so some of that is to be expected. We only had 35 in 522 groups this past week. We've been running upwards around 60. So I cut it almost in half. And so I do want to say to you, get on the horn this week. Connect with the folks, especially who've been missing a little bit. Make sure you know you care about them, you miss them. Ask them if there's any way you can be praying for them. Who knows what's going on with people? They may have just been out of town. They may have something going on. So make sure you contact all your folks, whether it be text, phone, email, Facebook, some other method. I want to talk about new groups for a moment. Jeff Coulter and I have been trying to connect with Jeff, so I'm sorry, Jeff, we haven't had a chance to discuss this yet. Um, I do want us to look at starting a new group, and very, very soon. Um, Rachel Gunn came to me in the recent past, along with Amelia Satterley, having some openness to launching a new group, thinking about maybe younger people, maybe in the 18 to 25 range. It could be singles or couples. It can be guys and gals. So we're thinking about maybe launching that and launching it pretty soon because we want to alleviate some of the space problems, at least in the ladies group. So hopefully that group won't begin to dwindle. When that number gets larger on a regular basis and there are a lot of side conversations starting, it's not as effective and people tend to fall away. And so we're thinking about trying to lighten the number load in that group in particular. So you be praying with us about that, thinking about it. If you have any input, any thoughts about it, definitely open to that in terms of strategizing for effectiveness. So just want to put that in front of you. So here's the main thing I want to talk about today is greeting. Greeting done great. That's what I want to talk about. I have attached this into the forum. It's a PDF that you can look at. You're going to need this. We need to put it in the binders. This is something you're going to need to have. What we've been doing is trying to work our greeting responsibilities through our groups, and that a different group is responsible for the greeting each month. And I think we all could probably agree, I think it would all be reasonable for us to say that we got a lot of space to improve on this. And so you'll see on this page, I hope that you will take the time to please take a moment and read over it, that when it's your group's turn to greet, that you need to talk through this thing. Basically, the idea is the greeting team is to provide basic hospitality for all people who come to the church, but especially guests, of course. This team is a first crucial opportunity to make our guests feel comfortable, welcome, wanted, loved, and informed. know where to go, where to hang their coat, where the bathrooms are. If they have children, what are the options for their children? Those sorts of things. And so the only prerequisites to be on the team is to be an attender of a 522 group and have a willingness to smile and maybe engage in a little light conversation. There are 3 areas. Put my finger, can you see them? There we go. 3 areas basically of responsibility that I'd like to see us have in greeting. These aren't really happening right now. Parking lot greeters, doorway greeters, seat shepherds. I would say the only thing that we're really doing with regularity is doorway greeting. We're not really doing any parking lot greeting that I'm aware of. And there may be some seat shepherding happening, but not much. I'm going to go through them and describe them a little bit. It's all on the paper as well for your reference. But parking lot greeters, we'd like to have at least 2. The idea is that when people come out of their cars, there's someone there to meet them in the parking lot to greet them with a smile and a "Hey, how you doing? Glad to see you here this morning." Keep in mind, we want to be careful not to just attack people as they get out of their car. Let's give them the opportunity to get out of their car. But we can also be there if we've got a mom with a big diaper bag and a baby to carry, for example. We can offer to help them with that. They also can help hold the main doors open as is necessary and as possible for them. When it's raining, we keep some umbrellas out there and we help people with umbrellas. That's parking lot greeting. That might be the easiest one, except that, you're going to obviously be in the elements potentially. Second is doorway greeters. We'd like to have at least one person at each door. First of all, provide a kind greeting, a smile. "Hey, how are you? Glad to see you here today." We want to provide a program, a pen, any other materials that are needed for folks as they come in. And then here's something I want us to talk about and make sure that we do well. As a doorway greeter, I want you to pay attention to folks who come in the building. If you know who they are and you know that they're regulars and you know that they know where to take their kids and they know where the bathrooms are, then this isn't necessary. This is only for people who may be guests or maybe second or third time visitors. We want to make sure that we find a seat shepherd to hand them off to. Make sure a seat shepherd notices the guest. If a guest comes in the door, we want to make sure we get a seat shepherd to come help them. And so that'll lead into seat shepherding. Here's seat shepherding. This is number 1 for you seat shepherds, is to watch the door and watch the door greeters, excuse me, and look when they see someone who may need to be handed off, that you'll go to that person and bring them in. And so we don't even want to wait for them to sit down. We want to go to them, walk with them as they have a seat. And here are the idea for the seat shepherds. It is to, number 1, make basic conversation with guests. Ask some questions like, who or what brought you here today? Where do you work? Are you from here originally? Just some basic small talk questions like that. Next, we want to make sure that guests have everything they need. And so as a seat shepherd, you're going to make sure they have their program and their pen. If for some reason they don't, you want to make sure you get that for them. You'll go get it. You'll bring it to them. If they have a very small child, you want to make sure they know where the location of the nursery is, the location of the bathrooms, a quick explanation for the Kids Zone for kids, and you'll see the Kids Zone information there on the page. I won't read that right now. But here's the key for seat shepherds when it comes to giving information. Don't tell them, take them. Don't tell them, take them. If they need the nursery, don't tell them where it is, take them. If they want to see the Kids Zone, don't tell them, take them. You don't necessarily have to show them where the bathroom is, but if they need to grab the bathroom, take them there. That's just down the hallway. You can probably just point to it. But go the extra mile with folks, and if they need to know where something is, take them there. Take them there. All right? So that's what we're talking about with greeting. Now, most anyone can do the parking lot stuff. Most anyone can do the doorway stuff. The seat shepherding is a little more high level, and we have agreed that group leaders need to be taking a primary role in greeting folks as they come in. It's an opportunity as you talk with them also to hand them an invite. If it's a member that meets the target of your group, an invite to your particular group, we have those half-page handouts. So this is something that group leaders can do, associate leaders do, And we also have been mentioning it'd be great for each group to have a group greeter that would greet people during small group, but also could really take a special interest in connecting with folks who come into the worship service, folks who are guests in particular. And so those are the people we're looking for that. So when it comes your group's month, you need to spend some time in your small group time talking about, hey, we have greeting today. Let's take the time to decide who's doing what role today. And as needed, talk through and describe it a little bit. You'll need to do that each week because not necessarily every single person is the same person in your group every week. Now, if you have newer folks and you don't want to make them uncomfortable by trying to do this, obviously we're not asking you to do that. And we realize you may not have enough people to fill this full roster every single week. And so we're asking for a total of, if we had a full boat, we'd be talking about 7 people in the greeting process. If you only have 5 that day, then we can forego parking lot greeters. Those would be the first to skip. And then the second thing we can cut down on would be seat shepherds. We could cut that down to 2 people or 1 person. And so that's how we want to proceed with that. But the goal is to do it much, much better than we've been doing it. All right, so take a look at that this week. And for response today, some action items is I'd like for you to share some of the names of the people that you need to connect with this week or reconnect with this week that we've been missing. And then also your thoughts, if any, on the greeting process, how we can make it better, make it more efficient, how we can do better to make people feel welcome. So any input you have into that, I am really open to it because we want it to work. It looks fine on paper, but it's not really working the way it needs to. So if you've got some input on that, I'd really love to hear it. Thanks for your time.